is going on, TubeYube? Hey, I actually got a request from my very first member about the name of the fandom, so now you're all my little buddies. So, welcome, little buddies, to the Plot Coalition channel. Today we are going to be doing a stream to start building out the environment based off of what we location scouted in Red Dead Redemption 2 on Monday. So we're going to be jumping into that. Before I do that, I do want to give a shout out to the sponsor of this project, Rococo. They sent me this awesome head rig. So if you want to get into animation, or if you're into VTubing or anything like that, this is fantastic. You just drop your phone in here and it keeps it locked down to your face. It's super comfortable, super balanced, super lightweight. Yeah, and it's just fantastic. We are filming the motion capture this weekend for this Western Red Dead, whatever you want to call it, project, and we will be using this with our actors to do even better facial animation, which, speaking of, I do want to give you guys a little sneak peek as to what's coming this weekend. So I'm going to show you real quick right now. So this is part of our new facial mocap system. So what you're about to watch, this is untouched. I'll even pull up, I'll throw the animation jazz on there. Let me just grab one of these so it can populate. So this is untouched animation out of MetaHuman Animator and the new animation tools that are built into Unreal Engine 5.4. So this is what it looks like. Hi, my name is Caleb. I go by Plot Coalition online. You may have Hi, my name is Caleb, but I go by Plot Coalition online. You might have seen my animated series, New Frontiers, and in that, I did some facial animation, but it could have been better. And now we're hoping that it is. With the help with tools like the head rig from Rococo, as well as MetaHuman Animator, we're able to do lifelike performances that'll translate to our actors. So, hopefully you'll be interested in the new technology that we're using, and we hope to see you in future videos. All right, that's it. Bye-bye. So, there you go. That's our new animation system using MetaHuman Animator and the new animation tools in Unreal Engine 5.4. And once again, that is untouched. So I didn't clean up that animation. That's just how it was out of the recording, which means our animation is like through the roof. What would have taken me 5 to 6 weeks to kind of look okay in New Frontiers, I can now do this in 20 minutes as my starting point, which is crazy. Yeah, so once again, this was recorded. The facial motion capture was using this Rococo head rig on an iPhone using MetaHuman Animator and using the Rococo Smart Suit Pro 2 to get the body animation, which we can now translate one-to-one. It's not approximate. So that is pretty cool. And I also want to give you guys just a little, this is a little production insider before we get to building the environment. So I just finished 3D printing. This is one of our props for the Western film. So this is one of the digital models that we have for the project. I still need to break off the supports and everything. But so the actors are going to be able to interact with what their character would be holding in the film, which is super cool. So then they have a one-to-one prop that feels like the real thing. It's a little bit lighter weight because it's made of plastic, but it's the exact shape that it needs to be, which means they're going to have more accurate performances. For New Frontiers, we used like Nerf guns and different props like that. For this one, we're really trying to step it up and give the actors everything they need to give a great performance, but then also use these new animation tools to bring it to the next level. All right, we'll put that down. We'll jump right into making some environments in Unreal Engine 5.4. So hopping in here, actually I want to kind of walk through before I get into like building it out on my own level, just to take a look, get a refresher of what some of these assets look like. So these are some assets from Big, Medium, Small. They are some fantastic Building, character, prop, assets. So these will be a good baseline to start building out kind of what we were looking at for Valentine. Like, this right here kind of looks like the church that was out front. Theirs was a little wider and off to the side, but I think we'll be okay. Looking for different things that could be the sheriff's office. What's nice is none of these have signs, so we can add signs to any of the buildings to make them a little bit closer to, what was there. And some of these, I might need to pull off some geometry to, make the door be able to swing open and stuff. But I think we should be pretty well set. I do really like this model. It doesn't look exactly like the sheriff's office, but I just like, how this banister is and all that fun jazz. So these are all things that we can certainly begin working with. If I had to pick one that looked the most like the sheriff's office from Valentine in Red Dead Redemption 2, it would either be this one or... I mean, that one was pretty darn close. So it's either going to be that one, not that one, or maybe this one. This one looks kind of close, although this does appear to be a little bit more residential. So I think that other one is going to be our building. It looks the most like it from Red Dead Redemption 2. As far as the inside, it's totally empty, which I'm in debate if I want the whole thing to take place in here or if I want to build a separate set for being inside. Which I might end up doing just so I can get the characters fully animated and then be able to drop them in and build it out from there. But alright, so this guy, he's probably going to be our hero building. That we'll kind of start from and then start building stuff off of that. So we'll go browse to asset, and it's this SM building C2UV. It's kind of in this cluster. So keep that up there. We also have some nice props from this pack, which I just want to take a quick look at before we start populating. And all these will be good, like right here. We have everything we would need to, populate those things. So I don't see one here that is says, yeah, and I'm not just tripping. None of those say saloon directly on them. So that is something to keep note of, but I don't think it necessarily needs it since the story doesn't really have that super up close. Oh, here's that revolver model. It's right there. It's kind of loading in a lower quality, but I think these kind of have different LED sets, which we'll clean up for this short. But cool, those are some nice props, and then there are different characters and world. All that fun jazz. I think most of these are already posed, so I'll have to go in and get the posed characters. But alright, we will jump right in. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in chat. Also, if you want to become a member, get exclusive insights, and help influence projects like these, you can do that. You can also join our Discord, which is linked in the description. All right, I'm going to create a new folder. We're going to call this 01 underscore maps. And let's build a new level. We'll call this Valentine outside. And it doesn't need to be too long. Valentine outside will work. Save selected, get our blank level. Looks great. We'll add in a directional light. And we'll probably just build, I won't be bringing in a sky or anything just yet. Just because I feel like we need to kind of start our layout first before we drop in anything like that. So we'll go to the landscape tool. This is pretty big. This is 63 quads. I think we can get away with maybe 31. Because we don't want to necessarily build like a giant level. We just kind of want a starter landscape. So when we were looking at Valentine in game, it kind of has this nice slope where everything kind of slides down towards the stable at the bottom, since everything's kind of built on, you know, this not mountain, but you know, something comparable. Which, like, this is a pretty big brush size. I think we're just gonna go for it. What's the density? We'll turn that down to like 0.1. And we'll build kind of this bump to start working off of. And we'll populate around that. And around there. And kind of what I'm looking to do right here is just build it out a little bit from memory, but then I'm also going to rely on larger assets just to build out the rest, because this is really where I'm going to start molding in like where the foliage will be. We'll kind of populate this whole space around the buildings, and then it'll fill out from there. So I think we might take one more pass across, maybe one more up here. And then we can start eroding this. And this is a neat tool. There was an old like City Sim game that allowed you to do stuff like this, which just always reminds me of, which is super great. I love it. And we're just trying to add some variation, so this isn't all flat. So this hydro tool, especially kind of where we want this main street area to be, you know, it's just going to help kind of build in some indents. And I mean, we have it like pretty mild right now. Maybe we'll hit everything with some noise just so it's a little bit more random. And then we'll turn up those hydro and erosion tools up a bit just to really flatten this out in a more randomized way. So let's see here. Let's bump this up to like 0.5. And we'll hit this landscape. So this is actually like what I did for most of the landscapes in New Frontiers. Is just the same kind of process. You kind of build up an area and then you figure out like what's the most realistic way to depress it down. And we're going to do the same with the hydro tool, especially on this main street area. Just let it really do some damage. Find some stuff out. And fill it in. All right. So that's feeling pretty good. Now I'm going to take the smooth tool, smooth out the main street, because I'm going to use nanite tessellation to add more to that. And then we can take a flatten tool at like 0.25. Kind of flatten this main street area. And we'll erode even more. And after this erosion and hydro pass should be good. Let's turn this up. After this erosion and hydro pass, we should be good to start placing buildings and making it look a lot more like a western town. And kind of my plan, so like we'll see kind of where the buildings land, because I have a feeling they're going to be a little bit smaller than I'm anticipating right now, which is totally fine. But then nanite tessellation will build the extra geometry out. And then I'll fill in the background with different mega scans and other assets But it also doesn't have to be perfect. We need to really focus on like where that first building is going to go, and then everything else can follow suit. That's feeling pretty good. I might do some random noise at like a really small scale. Yep. Just to provide a little bit more randomness here. All right. I think that's good. Let's go ahead and start dropping some buildings in before we even get something on our landscape, just because I want to see how the buildings intersect with the ground. So we'll save the map so far. Let's go find ourselves one of these buildings. So it was under Wild West, buildings, meshes, and it was this one right here. It's actually about the scale that I was anticipating, so that's pretty cool. So bring it over, flip it. And what's interesting about like doing something like this is like looking to see where these could be placed, but not making it too perfect. Because like you want to have some intersection, but you also want it to feel random. So that's why I'm not using like the snapping tools or anything. So when we begin populating out the rest of it, it feels even more random. So let's go back. I'm going to select the landscape. Go back to the landscape tool. And kind of build this out, since the church is like on this kind of hill area. There's some trees, and then there's kind of a cliff face right behind it. So we want to keep that all true to the game. We'll flatten this out using hydro and erosion. The church I'm not as worried about because it won't be in any close-ups, but getting its general placement correct I feel like is important. So we'll do that, and then we'll just flatten this area out. And sculpt a little bit of that back in so we can kind of nestle the church right there. So let's drop that in. And this one I think was the one that I said was closest. Yeah. That one's looking pretty close to what's in the game, and is at like kind of a good eye distance from here. The church does appear a little bit larger in the game, so I'm just going to scale that up without consequence. Oh, and it's missing its textures. Strange. It's got two. What was that? Church C. Glass for Church C, I'm assuming is that one. And we'll just type in church _ C. There we go. There's our material. So that's filled out. So now we got our building. I'm going to need to separate this door, which means I'll probably have to take this into Blender and make that its own separate thing. But I can do that later. Let's just kind of figure out where things are going to go. The basic geometry of things. That way I can start animating on that. And what I want to do with this, as opposed to what I did on New Frontiers, was build this out to where the environment feels good. But then I can do the animation and stuff. And then everything else follows after that. As far as what else needs to be filled out. So we want to make that look good. And then let's fill out these other buildings. So this one's off the market because that's our main one. And the next thing that's next to this sheriff's office is the doctor's office in Valentine, which I think this might do it. Because once again, it doesn't need to be... Actually, that might work better as the mercantile all the way at the end. Let's try this one maybe. Yeah, but this looks like the building that's in between. So we can do that. There we go. This one's kind of giving the vibes. It was a little bit more inset, but I think this will be okay. So I'm actually going to delete this one. We're going to take this, depress it in a little bit like it is in Valentine, and pop it out. That'll be nice too, because we need to be able to see down towards this end. So we'll do that. We'll bring in... Is this the same? This isn't the same building we just had out there. No, this one looks nice. So then we'll do this one, and then we want our saloon. 2 buildings down, and then the saloon. Which we're, like, in this short, we're not moving around Valentine too much. So it should be pretty okay. I'm actually okay tilting this building a little bit, just to give it more character. And set it into the ground. Because you know these buildings were never built super straight. What's this one looking like in the front? Ah, that's okay, but the saloon is more stepped up in Red Dead. So maybe we go... What's this one like? Nope. That ain't giving the saloon vibes. This looks like the saloon from Red Dead 1. But, wrong period. Which this pack might not have, like, the perfect saloon, but we'll find something close. Like, even that as there, because you don't even necessarily see into it. So that might be kind of a fun one. We'll just make sure it doesn't intersect with this building. And there we go. Okay, that's starting to be something, because we only really need to see that from over here. And as we look back. So cool, cool. That's all fitting so far. Fitting the vibe. Now there is a section of the sheriff's office, which this might be why it needs to be a separate set to do the inside. There's a part of the sheriff's office that branches out to the side, and there are no buildings here that necessarily do that, because they kind of have the sheriff's office and then the cells. So I wonder... Oop. Ah! There we go. No, duplicate. There we go. I wonder if we do this and then literally have it intersect in the back here. If, like, from a street view, is that even going to register that it's an intersected asset? I think if it's back here, we might actually be able to get away with it, especially if we fill this in. Because there's, like, the bounty board and everything right here. So yeah, as long as we're not seeing back there, that kind of works. I'm kind of about that. So we've got this kind of built out. This is the first part of the street, which is feeling good. And then they kind of have, so they have the saloon, and then they have that end cap mercantile looking building, which I think we're just going to do this. Maybe not. Maybe we'll just do it towards. Especially because, like, this is kind of the background stuff where it's here, it's nighttime. It's not going to be super noticeable from this purview. Heck, we can even take this building. Whoop. Duplicate it. Rotate it 90-ish degrees. And line it up. And that'll just add a little bit more geometry. Because this, like, by the time you get to this building, you can't even see anything down there really anymore. So that's feeling pretty good. I'm going to have to use some geometry to fill in under there, potentially, if it's an issue. But generally speaking, I think we should be good. So we kind of have our good layout of buildings. We'll throw a barn at the end to be the stables. This one looks somewhat game accurate. Maybe make it a little bit bigger. I'll throw some signs on these just to make it match up a little bit. All right. I'm liking this. I'm feeling good about this. So we have that side of the street, and then just for kicks and giggles, we'll add buildings to the other side of the street just to build out how the street should feel. Which means if it's about that wide, church should be kind of over here. Right about there. That feels fine. So this would like effectively be where I believe it's the gunsmiths right there. And we'll just fill this out with some other buildings in case, you know, like these might not even necessarily show up on camera. If they do, it's dark, it's background. It's not the end of the world. It doesn't need to be perfectly accurate, but it does help give a sense of space when doing the camera work and stuff like that, which helps make things feel a little bit more realistic, which is always nice. So we'll do this there, and a lot of churches in this pack, a lot of oldie churches. But I think that's feeling pretty good. And then we'll also, they had some tents and stuff in the game. So we'll do kind of a tent or two over here. And not necessarily because that's exactly where it is in the game, but just because in case that geometry is ever seen back there, it fills it out a little bit more, and we can fill everything else in with other geometry. All right. So far, so good. All right, what I'm going to see about doing next, let's throw some signage up. We got our sheriff's office. So pop that good old sheriff like a good old boy. Pop that up. Maybe tilt it, give it some character. Feels pretty good. And then maybe, I mean, I don't think this our supposed saloon necessarily needs any. You know, we could add though the street lamp. That feels pretty cool. It's a nice way to add some light. So that feels good. And let's see here. What else? There's some gallows. Maybe set those like they're built next to the sheriff's office. And again, like this isn't taking place like specifically in Valentine in the year it is in the game. It's taking place a little bit before then. So I know they had some kind of over here too. It's where like they move the public hangings, I suppose. So you know what? I'll put them back here and we'll forget about them. Fun little thing though. My goodness. Excuse me. Burning. Ooh. Ah. Doesn't feel good. Allergies have been terrible. But so, because this is also pre-electricity, I don't know that I want any oh, binding for horses. That's what I want. I don't know that I want any. Shoot, I'm blinking. Power lines. Because I feel like this would be pre-power lines. Oh, they do have these bags. That's super nice. Because that's something that I observed when we were doing the location scout. So maybe we'll have this. Maybe they used to have a bench on the sheriff's office. That feels kind of nice. So we'll do that. And I really want to build this out to be like well detailed here, so that the rest of it can kind of fade into the background. So we'll do that. And then maybe where this building is, raise it off the ground and then use these. These can kind of go, this cluster of them can go over here. But then we'll add a few under these floorboards, which I don't think you'll necessarily see, but hey, we'll go out of the way for the detail. So bring this, scale this down, and put it under, maybe scale it down even more. This is one of those things that I noticed that was in the game that I wanted to add as a nice detail here. Whoop, and we'll rotate it, and we'll do the same for this one. Kind of make it feel like it's buried a little bit. Because once we add texture to the ground and everything, and the nanite tessellation, these will kind of feel more buried than just clipping geometry. Then I'll just take all those, duplicate them, and bring them under here as well. And And then this one can go off to the side of the step. Rotate these up a little bit. All right, cool. That was a little detail. Who knows if anybody will notice it. But if you're watching on stream, you know. All right, so this is feeling pretty good so far. I'm going to add some more details around the sheriff's office. And then we'll look into bringing stuff down here. I do need to knock out this door so that it can be used. And then we can kind of take it from there. What is causing that little bit of flicker? That must be a shader error. Interesting. Alright, we'll keep that in mind. But alright, so now one of the other things that I noticed when we were doing this the other day, there were tons of broken bottles and stuff around the sheriff's office. That's like an intact bottle with a box, which isn't necessarily what we want. But adding in just kind of these little details may be nice. What's up, Raise514? Welcome to the stream. We're just building out some of this environment. I like to have a little bit of the environment built out before doing motion capture. So that's something we're doing this weekend for this project. We're doing some of the motion capture. And I like to have the environment kind of built out just so I have an idea of where things will be. So we'll work on this one for a few more minutes. And then start blocking out the interior so I have an idea what that looks like in case we need it. Oh, there's also like in Red Dead, there's always this cart like right here. So let's just drop that in just as a little nod. It might kind of be in the way in the cinematography, but we'll test it out. We'll test it out, see how it feels. Alright, there's like kind of a trough, basket, bench, which I think a lot of this could honestly be done with Megascan's assets from here. What project is this? Love New Frontiers, by the way. So this is a Red Dead inspired project. So we're building out we went through on Monday, walking through Valentine, see how the environment was, and then today we're kind of building that out before we do motion capture. So this will be a much smaller scale project that kind of, allows us to flex these different tools and processes that we're implementing. Something that I'll show you right now, since you're here, Raise5014. Let me pull up this animation test. So this is something we'll be releasing this weekend as part of like our rollout of our new processes. But this new animation pipeline essentially allows us to take like the kind of animation we did on New Frontiers and what would have taken like 5 to 6 weeks to make look kind of okay. We can get this result in 20 minutes. So this isn't animated. This is just what we got from the phone for the face capture and the body motion capture. And the new tools in Unreal Engine 5.4 allows us to do like way better stuff now. So this is an example of that. Hi, my name is Caleb. I go by Plot Coalition online. You may have Hi, my name is Caleb, but I go by Plot Coalition online. You might have seen my animated series New Frontiers, and in that I did some facial animation, but it could have been better. And now we're hoping that it is. With the help with tools like the head rig from Rococo, as well as MetaHuman Animator, we're able to do lifelike performances that'll translate to our actors. So, hopefully you'll be interested in the new technology that we're using, and we hope to see you in future videos. All right, that's it. Bye-bye. So, that's our new Motion capture solution, we achieved that with the Rococo Smart Suit Pro 2 for the body, and then we also used this head rag that they sent us for this Western Red Dead project that we're doing. So if you want to pick up one of these for yourself, you essentially put it on your head. You can put a phone in here, and it can capture everything for your face. You can also put in like regular motion capture cameras, but you know, it's a lot more helpful that there's something for the consumer to put your phone into. So if you're into VTubing or want to get into animation, you can pick up one of these, use my link in the description. It'd help out a lot. Even if you just want to peruse or explore some of their other stuff, they have a lot of great tools and some free stuff that you can start animating with today, which is cool. I just pushed the lock in on that, but that's okay. Yeah, and another neat thing that we're doing for this project in particular, this had just finished printing. Oh no, that's the bad one. Hold up, where's the good one? Here it is. So this just finished printing. It's one of the exact props that we have the digital version of. That's part of the story. Now we have a 1:1 scale printed version that I still need to break off the supports for. But now the actors will be able to interact with this, which is super, super cool, and use it as a physical prop, which is pretty dope. It's all the stuff that I've wanted to be doing finally coming together. So that's super cool. So go check out Rococo. And we got cool stuff coming in our new animation pipeline. It looks fantastic. And what's really crazy is this is also, it's not real time. Or, I mean, it is real time. It's not rendered. That's what I meant to say. It is rendered in a sense that it is rendered in the game engine. But, you can move around this while it's playing.
My name is Caleb. I go by Plot Coalition online.
This could be a video game.
You may have... Hi, my name is Caleb, but I go by Plot Coalition online. You might have seen my animated series, New Frontiers.
Very different than
and in that, I did some facial animation, but
it looks awesome out of
it could have been better. And
with
now we're hoping that it is. With the help of tools like the head rig from Rococo, as well as MetaHuman Animator, we're able to do lifelike performances.
That's that. We're going to jump back into the environment, finish that one up, and then maybe start a second one for the interior of the sheriff's office. So we'll jump into this maps project. Here we go. So far I'm actually feeling pretty good about where the layout of this is. Obviously it's not super textured yet. It still needs some love. Maybe slide that over. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's not feeling too bad as far as blocking out these buildings. I know I want to add some trees and stuff in here. I want to use nanite tessellation to put mud on the road. But as far as blocking out so far, it's feeling pretty alright. I think the main thing is I want lanterns right here. So maybe we'll just jump into Quixel Bridge. And we'll search assets. Maybe we'll just type in lantern. That one I think is good. Sure, we'll do the nanite. One of the things I also want to do with this is try and keep it running in real time. So yeah, I think that would be cool for the project. Thank you. I was hoping it would look like Valentine. So it's not the assets from the game. That's another difference from New Frontiers. We're kind of doing a little bit of a different approach. We're not pulling anything out of Red Dead. We're just trying to build something that is kind of close to it. Build around that. So this is kind of big. I feel like that's shrunk down to here. Maybe I'll do one on either side. And then there are other little details that, I mean, we can kind of peruse through here just real quick. See if there's anything else that would look good on on the outside. Hey, Mr. Thought. Welcome, 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 welcome. Mr. Thought is a true legend. And if you're not subscribed to York Reacts, where you can catch Mr. Thought on stream regularly in the chat, you should definitely pop by. Mike York is a fantastic animator he actually worked on Red Dead. So, go give him a follow. And you might see Mr. Thought in the chat around there as well on the live streams. So what are we looking for? I got caught off track. We'll go down to props. Maybe let's pop up in farm. I feel like that's going to give us kind of what we're looking for. So this bucket is kind of nice. Oh, there's horse manure. No, we got to add horse manure. It's also a hitching post here. Some old wooden buckets. Okay. Old well crank. Alright, let's do this. Let's take an old saddle, because I do want to cover up that duplicate asset. We'll do old saddle. We're definitely doing the horse manure. And we'll do this metal pot. Wooden trough. Interesting. Maybe some wooden buckets. Some barrels. Some old wooden barrels. Are you kidding me right now? Oh, this is stocks. Alright. Alright, let's not get too carried away, but I think that's good. We'll download those. We'll pop them into the level. And then see kind of what else is here. We have hardware, firewood, weaponry, trash. Trash might be a good one to look at just to put a little more detail down. Because I kind of want to get broad detail first and then let the animation and cinematography sink in and then kind of be like, all right, where can we dirty things up? So we won't be dropping in stuff like decals just yet. I think that'll come a little bit later. But we'll get these assets in there and then build it out. I like that plan. But yeah, we're pretty close to getting Valentine close to ready. Maybe we'll those download just for funsies. And just so we have, a better idea of the world. We can add in some characters. Just to get a sense of scale. So these are, already posed characters, which they won't be used in the final, but can kind of give a decent idea of where some things might be. We got this guy who's looking. That might actually be close to the outfit that I want for the main character. Just different face models since we'll be using the metahumans. And on this project, we actually want the metahumans to look a lot like the actors. It was one of those options that I talked with the actors with, and they really wanted to see, what that would all be capable of. So I need to dive in, probably bring a lot of these guys into the Blender and then bring them back to Unreal. We can add a horse, make a horse just look kind of part of the world, give some dimension, give some scale, just while I work on building everything else out, because it is helpful to have things kind of in the same area that they will be. So I know this will kind of be well placed, and then I can start figuring out what assets look like from there, so when it's all animated and put together, feels more correct. All right, let's go ahead and check on these. They're all ready. We'll add them to the project, and then maybe we'll bounce and find, just take a look at what's maybe in trash and weaponry. That'd be good places to look. Wood is probably actually also another really good one. So those are going to load for a second. Let's take a look at trash. This is probably going to be a lot of modern trash. Yeah, we don't really want anything like this. Weaponry, what's in here? A lot of medieval stuff. So maybe not that. Wheel could be interesting. I'll keep this in mind. I'm not going to grab any though. It's just kind of fun too to look around and see like what inspires you to grab things. Like these benches. Those could be neat to add. A lot of stuff like this might be good for the interior as well. Old boards, those could be good to drop in as well. Hey, Mrs. Coalition, popping into the chat. My number one fan. Alright, interior. Oh, the skull's pretty cool. I feel like there are a few skulls in Megascans. That could be neat. Could be a neat addition. Megascans is fantastic though. If you have like the patience to go through and like handpick your assets and drop them in. This is a place to do it. It's all free in Unreal Engine, so like why wouldn't you? It's all high quality, real life scans of different things. Yeah, this is all giving me some good ideas. Some of the stove. Oh, that's an incense burner. But like adding a stove on the inside of the building, that could be super cool. Historical maybe. A butter churn. My boy the sheriff making butter. Okay. Alright. I think we honestly like might have what we need for now, at least to do the outside, and maybe I'll move the interior to next week. So we'll do that next Thursday, and maybe just explore around a little bit more in Red Dead on our Monday stream. Yep, can't show that on YouTube. I don't think that was nudity. You know, just don't tell YouTube. All right. Let's pop back in here and let's add the most important things, which include horse manure. See, this is why it's good to have a horse in the scene. Now we can see where the horse manure would be. The horse is standing there. The horse manure is going to be over here. Look at us doing high quality work. Hey, it adds to it though. Add this metal pot. Pitchfork, you know, they got to clean that all up. Maybe I'll put it over here so it's a little bit more apparent. And they also, in Red Dead, they have the bounty board over here. So maybe we can put our own board up. The old saddle. I want to drop that over this rope. And right now things are coming in pretty low quality. That's just because my graphics card is not trying to throttle right now. But we could boost it into overdrive. I mean, it is kind of looking like crap. One sec. Settings. Is it under World Engine Scalability? Cinematic. There we go. That'll bring back some detail. I don't know why the saddle here looks like this, nor the horse's hair. That looks Winner. All right. Old wooden bucket. That's where we're cleaning up our horse manure. We got 2 of those just because, you know, horses, they crap a lot. Trust me. Trust me. All right. Some more barrels. Maybe we'll put a barrel up here. And duplicate, slide, rotate. And then we got 2 barrels. 2 barrels, feeling good. And we got another wooden barrel. Maybe we'll put that here. Ooh, and the stocks. Where you gotta put people before you hang them, you gotta put them in the stocks. So we'll just kind of, we'll slap this over here for now. Boop, boop. All right, dropped in, popped in, did our thing. I'm gonna throw a board up here and then I'll probably call it on stream. Got some other stuff I need to knock out for the weekend. So I'll close this up. Go down to props, meshes. Or was it under buildings? Nope, it's under props. So there's nothing that really looks like a bounty board here. A lot of them are just general signs. Ooh, I do kind of like these boxes though. Maybe I'll put those in the corner. Rotate them a little bit. Maybe all the way to there. And maybe drop a 3rd one. Or a 4th one, I suppose. Scale it down. Cool, that feels good. And then, you know what? This is kind of... Oh, we can use the back of it. There's an idea. So, like, it is a bounty board, but there's nothing posted up right now. And maybe I can find some assets for wanted posters or something and drop them in. That's actually a super neat tip I'm going to have to keep in mind when doing the interior. But, all right. So that's feeling pretty good. We'll pop a couple more of these down the street. And then we'll probably call it a night, guys. Because I think there's enough here to where blocking for doing the motion capture, you know, this gives a good idea of where things are. And then obviously as we work on the film, filling it out a bit more. But yeah, that's where these are at. All right, so if you enjoyed the stream, if you made it this far, drop a like, drop a comment, do whatever, become a member, all that fun jazz. But I appreciate you hopping on, being a part of this stage of production. We'll be rolling out some more behind the scenes stuff with the motion capture and all that fun jazz here soon. So yeah, go ahead and stay tuned for more, and I will catch you in the next stream. Thanks, guys.